The.Encountered.Culture. In your face, gonna pretend that you want it to end. I'd rather be a drinking with my friends. When we go out, you never see us again.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back for another live here with Nick. Today we're talking about the leak list. So you've already seen it. You know what's going on. But you just, want to hang out, want to talk about it. So that's it. Nothing fancy. But before we do that, as I said, I do have Nick with me. So Nick, say hello to the people.
How's it going?
It's going. It's going. All right, so let's kick it off with a little bit of what's going on as far as releases. Outriders went up for pre-order today. Amazon and Fan Channel, so you got a few options there. I'm not into it. I'm not buying these. I think if maybe I ever do get them, if they go on clearance or a pretty good discount, if I can get if the price is right, I might get these. But I'm okay. I've kind of gone away from like MCU figures anyway, but yeah,
it seems like the MCU figures they put out have been of less and less quality. I don't know, just cheaper. The skin's very shiny. Not a fan. That's not the case here. These ones look weird to me, at least compared to is this Endgame or no? This is Infinity War, right? When they're like fighting in Wakanda, right?
Wakanda, yeah.
They don't look like black like that. To me, they were like more like brown and like, I guess, like yellowish gray. Like they didn't look dark like this, unless it's been quite a while since I've watched Infinity War, but I like that one better than Endgame. Everyone loves Endgame, and in my opinion, Infinity War is way better. Yeah, they just don't look. It looks like they're wearing a suit, like instead of it being like a beast or a monster. Now, whether that's like a comic thing where it's in a thing in a suit, I don't know, but I always got the feeling that they were like these like ravenous killer beasts.
Yeah, like mindless beasts.
Like Thanos controlled.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I agree with you. I'm good.
It's something that could have been like cool as just an alien figure. Say you didn't even want these for your Marvel Legends display or even like an MCU display. If you just wanted these as some sort of like interesting looking creature, could have been cool. But yeah, I like at the end of the day, if I do pick these up, it will be just to put them with like Thanos and the Black Order there and kind of just have that in the display. But I'm not excited about these, so I don't know. It's definitely a wait and see for me on this set.
Yep.
Other thing that was announced yesterday, I believe. So Marvel Unlimited, like the comic book app, you can read all the comics on your devices, whatever. They put out that Marvel Legends figure each year for a certain tier, right? It's like that very limited release figure. Last year they did the alternate suit Nova. They've done variations of like Venom, Deadpool, Miss Marvel, Kitty Pryde, lots of figures dating back for many years. But this year they're doing Night Spider. So this is apparently based off of a Moon Knight variant cover. So basically like a combination of Spider-Man and Moon Knight.
You think they would have included that comic in this little package here, but I guess not. Or is it?
It seems like a missed opportunity. Yeah, I would.
Sure,
I would think
it's Deadpool and Wolverine. What a surprise!
People want to be a little bit more familiar with the source material, but no, you're just gonna have to figure that one out. You have to get Marvel Unlimited to find the comic and then go from there. But
I do like the figure. It is cool. I don't know if maybe get it aftermarket, but it seems like you said is it a more recent one-off because it has the more like generic Spider-Man logo, I guess.
Yeah, from a couple of years ago.
I like it. So maybe get it on eBay after the fact.
I think it's fun. It's super random. Not for everybody, obviously. And so I'm kind of on the fence of whether or not I like the fact that it's on the card, though. they've only done one other carded figure for these, and that was the Daredevil 2 years ago, which that was cool. And like I still haven't opened that because it looks good on the card, and it's one of the like 4 figures that I keep on card, right? But this I'm definitely gonna open. So maybe I kind of wish they didn't put it on the card because I'm gonna feel a little bit more apprehensive towards opening it. But at the end of the day, who am I to kid? I have an abundance of loose figures around me, so it's something cool. I think that would be on like the Spider-Verse shelf, right? So I've got a bunch of just random Spider-Man shit, so it's gonna be there, and yeah, why not, right?
Definitely.
But yeah, so that's kind of what is going on this week, right? So you got the Outriders that went live today for pre-order. You had this announcement for the Marvel Unlimited, but we're here to talk about leaks. You've all seen it, you all know it. This list went floating around on Discord and Reddit last week, almost 2 weeks ago, right? But kind of floating around there. Some cool things on this list. Of course, you've probably already watched Dave go over the list on displaying model behavior. If you haven't, I really suggest checking that out. If you're here, you probably have, so I'm just preaching to the choir at this point. But definitely check that out. Certainly looking forward to, though, when Rectangular puts out his list, because that'll just kind of confirm what is going to be coming, right? So some good stuff, though. I kind of broke it down into groups, right? So pretty much based on how the list was broken down, right? So you got the X-Force stuff first. Looks like we're going to be getting the Cyclops and Jean Grey. That's cool. We did get that X-Force Cyclops on a retro card a couple years ago in the blue and white version of the suit. So I'm assuming, and I could be very wrong, but hopefully they give us the blue and yellow suit here just to give us a little bit of variation, and not just an updated version of the blue and white suit. But who knows? I mean, it could go either way, I suppose.
Better have that optic blast.
Yeah, and I think from now on, all Cyclops figures need to include that optic blast, right? You kind of spoiled us with the X-Men 97 one, so we really need to get that optic blast with pretty much every... Well, I guess that X-Force one had that too, right? Yeah, it did. So yeah, just include it.
The 97 one looks better though.
Exactly.
It looks cooler. Yeah.
Jean will be cool. Obviously, we can see Angel in the background. That's a simple repaint, right? So almost assuredly that we get that at some point.
Yes.
The X-Force stuff that I was very excited to see, though, was this Archangel. So this has been released many years ago in 2 different versions, right? There was like one in a 3-pack and then one in a single release. But one that I don't have, and one that has become pretty prohibitive in price, right? It's up there. It's a cool looking figure. That black and silver is just a great design. So this is, out of all, I know it's at the front of the list here, but out of all the ones that are on the list, this is the one that I am probably looking forward to the absolute most. Just because, like, I have not been able to get my hands on the current release at a price that I'm willing to pay, right? Like, I could certainly grab it, but am I going to feel good about it? Absolutely not. So glad to see that we're getting a re-release here, which I'm hoping would be on a new Buck, not on the Bucky cap, because that would be kind of ridiculous at this point. So we should get a nice new Buck for this, which means then we'll get another Archangel re-released at some point down the line, which I think that would make a lot of people happy as well.
Mm-hmm.
Continuing the X-Force, they did say that we'd get another X-23 and a Warpath. I think this will probably be in a 2-pack. That's what David said, and I think kind of the way the rumor is going around for this leak. We don't need this X-23 again. It's already a great figure. Like, I think the X-23 we have is a really nice looking figure. Of course, this will be updated, so it will have some benefit to it. But this Warpath, another one that has, kind of gone down as one of the more expensive, harder to track down figures, the X Force Warpath. So I'd like to get this one as well. For me, I think it would be cool if just the three of these X Force figures were in a 3-pack together. Because the only one I'm really not gonna be super into getting is the X-23 because I like the one that we currently have. But this will come out, it'll be better, and then that'll change the opinion all around. But yeah, so the Warpath though, that should be cool. And again, hopefully we get a new buck on that. That's one that I doubt we will though. Probably be a repaint, retool of the Strong Guy Wave.
Yeah. I like all these re-releases too. A 3-pack would be nice, but I doubt it.
Yeah, right, exactly. And then let's see, Husk was another one that was on the list. So I think she's a little bit newer, one that I'm not like super familiar with myself, but from Generation X, I believe. So we got Monet last year, so she'll kind of tie into that. They also like she's in that same red uniform too a lot of the time, so possibly just a little bit of reuse of that Monet figure with some different tooling.
I like that she can tear off of her skin, tear off her skin.
So I mean that's what I'm saying. Like if it's something like that looks like this, that would be pretty badass.
Not that face, but yeah.
Yeah, so it would probably just be like a reuse of like an Invisible Woman or Emma Frost face that everyone hates, but it'll fall into that realm of head sculpts. And as we go through these, the pictures I chose are not necessarily the ones that, well, first of all, we have no idea, right? This is a rumor list, a leak list. This could all be bullshit at the end of the day, and none of it comes to fruition. And, it's just a bunch of videos out there of guys talking about some stuff that doesn't exist. But it could exist in our minds and in our hearts, right? Then there's Fabian Cortez. So X-Men villain. Not sure what direction they're going to go. Obviously, I would prefer the more 90s X-Men sort of animated series aesthetic. But, there's some ways they could go. This isn't one that I'm super excited about. This is going to be like a filler in a wave. Yeah. I don't see a lot of people rushing out for this. It's going to be something I get because I have a place for it, but it's going to be sort of like at the bottom of the list for me.
Yeah, he's just too generic, I guess. But yeah, we'll see if we get hopefully the '90s one.
But one that I think a lot of people will be looking for, and one that a lot of us wanted, although personally for me, the blue and yellow suit has a lot of nostalgic value, right? I had that figure, the Toy Biz one with the whistle on the back when I was a kid. So the blue and yellow suit was perfectly comfortable for me. But to get Banshee in the green and yellow, obviously an easy choice for them. It's a repaint, right? We've got the high collar on the blue and yellow suit. We've got the head sculpt with the mutton chops. They're going to change a couple of things and then just re-release it. And that's fine, right? Why change something that looks good? That's already a good looking figure. I did hear a couple of people talk about like, and I think actually you mentioned it a few weeks ago, including, an alternate head for Siren in there, just as an olive branch, right, to collectors, right? Like, all right, we know we messed up on that one. Here's an alternate head for Siren. I think that's highly wishful thinking, but why not, right? It could happen. It could be something.
Yes,
Definitely do that.
Would be nice. Yeah, kind of like you said, an olive branch. Like a sonic effect would be nice too. Maybe like awesome. a thing. Kenny, that effect that Black Bolt scroll, the Diamond Select one that Kyle got.
Yeah,
that would be perfect. So something like that, you just stick it in the mouth and it would look great.
Yeah. Why not? Do something, right? Like, I think it's been a while since we've got sort of an updated effect that they can use for multiple characters. something like that they can't use for a lot, but they could definitely reuse it for some. Like if they give us a new Black Bolt at some point, they could use it for that. Or yeah, so there's definitely reuse potential on an effect like that. I do think it's
Definitely.
time to get some new effects, while we're on the topic of effects. But yeah, that I think that would be something that would really elevate, especially like Banshee here. You get him in this pose, flying, screaming, perfect.
Exactly. It would look great. Ah, the elusive GameStop Professor X.
Yeah, so they definitely confirmed cancellation of those supposed re-releases from GameStop. So I got the confirmation email for the second time yesterday. So that's definitely not happening. They did
Okay.
refund the money finally. But on the list, we do have X-Men 97 Professor X in the hover chair. So it'll be a variation of the one we already have, or do they give us an entirely new chair? I don't know.
The old chair, I mean,
The
if they're
old chair is
going
great.
for the
Yeah.
97 or even the 90 series, it's huge. But the chair that that they did come out with isn't bad. Like they could just re-release that, which is probably what they will do.
Yeah, I think it's because in the animated series, there's a little bit. It's got more defined edges, right? Whereas like the
Pinky.
previous release is a little bit more rounded.
Yep.
If they do put in the effort to make the new chair and everything, I think regardless of the price point, that's something that'll sell. People have a lack of Professor X the way they want it in their collections. Even though it's X-Men 97, you could still fudge it into your, main X-Men
Yeah.
display, right?
It'll fit in just fine.
It'll look all right. It'll be good. Then they talked about Deadpool. So this is the Comic-Con exclusive from last year. So they're doing like a single release of that figure. Whether or not it comes with all the accessories, I doubt it, right? Like they're not going to pack in everything. I do hope that it is painted at least. There's some difference to it, right? Because at the end of the day, it's another Deadpool. Like I'd want to pick it up, so I do hope that it is at least a little bit different.
Yeah, I like the masked head looks a little bit pissed off, which is nice. Like
Yeah,
most of the time he's goofy, like the half unmasked one or whatever, or the eyes are really wide, but that one looks good. Like despite the pink bazooka, so hopefully, yeah, it's something pissed off. I'd like to see one that has like a battle damaged outfit, not just like the
oh
face,
yeah,
maybe
that would be
some
cool.
like skin exposed on the arms or the chest or something. I think would look cool if you're gonna do a little bit of a variant or whatever you want to call it.
No, that would be awesome, and like we don't have one of those, right? So why not? We have a ton of Deadpools at our
Just
disposal.
the boxer shorts one, but that's like
I get,
a
yeah, yeah,
joke
of
one.
course, yeah. That's true. So, but yeah, so like something like that would be cool. I mean, and this Deadpool, the Comic Con exclusive one, is a great Deadpool. You don't have it, right? Because
No,
I
I do
mean, but
not.
like it's not. If you already have a good Deadpool in your display, it's not one that you needed, unless you're like really into playing with the toys and moving them around and stuff. Because it does have a lot of great articulation, including the toe articulation. But it's a nice looking figure, and if they are gonna do a single release of it, just do it right. Maybe a little bit of a different paint scheme. The battle damage idea would be awesome. I doubt they'll do that.
Yeah.
But as a potential idea for something down the line, I don't see why not, right? If they're going to give us things like Pirate Deadpool and Boxer's Deadpool, a battle damage Deadpool doesn't seem like a crazy idea.
Out of the question.
But
I do have a question with this one. What's up with the hands? It only has fist hands, or
no,
does it have?
no, it came with a lot of, so
Oh,
this
okay,
this
gotcha.
pack came with a lot of stuff. So yeah, there are alternate hands to go with this. I don't know why they're not in this picture though. It seems a little
Yeah,
weird.
everything else is there.
So this one I kind of like. So this is Moonstone, but like Dark Avengers Moonstone. Yeah, Dark Avengers. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, and kind of with like that Captain Marvel costume. So it's a good look. I like the aesthetic. I have a Dark Avengers display, so I'm always welcoming to more additions to that. This is definitely going to be one that a lot of people probably skip out on. I think it may be a little too specific, right? Like the last Moonstone, which was, I guess, more of her Thunderbolts look, the Walgreens exclusive. I don't know that that did that well, but
It's
then
too
again,
generic. Just all white. It's like
yeah.
nothing to it.
So maybe this does a little bit better. Again, it's Moonstone, so I don't know like what the audience is for that, but personally, I like that, you know, they're kind of giving us some more options for Dark Avengers. Hopefully we get that, you know, Dakin at some point updated, because that guy's looking a little bit weird these days in the display, but
Yeah, we could definitely use an updated Dakin.
yeah.
Or Dakin. I think it's Dakin.
Or Dakin.
Ah, that's even better.
There you go.
Ah, there he is.
There he is. Kane.
Kane. Yeah, just give me that. Perfect.
Yeah.
Right, purple.
No
pink.
notes. Just do that.
Yeah. Done. Don't fuck it up, Hasbro.
So yeah, to me this is perfectly what I want to see in figure form. It's just such a 90s aesthetic. So like I said, no notes. Hasbro, do that. Pretty please.
Just get it done. And that too.
Chameleon. The question of Chameleon, right? Will it be this version of Chameleon? Will it be Smoking Jacket Chameleon?
Mm.
Will it be, I don't know. It could be anything, right?
I would think it's this version, because they could just reuse like the Hellfire Club Guard body, right? And just put the Chameleon head.
You know, that will make a lot of people mad, because that's on the Bucky Cap buck. And if they do that, there will be riots in the streets.
Cool.
People will be burning down buildings. It'll be raining cats and dogs. You know, all
mass hysteria.
Mass hysteria.
Well, so I hopefully it's this one. We have like the generic suit one from the old, was it the Rhino wave, I think.
And why not? Like, even if they I think regardless of which way they decide to go, just wait a year and then that following year just release the other one, right? It's not out of the question, you know. So for me, I think go this route first with the animated series, put it on the retro card, call it a day, and then a year or so down the road, release, you know, like the Smoking Jacket version, right? Give it a little bit more of a comic version for people who really want that. But this is a good stand-in, and then, you know, toss a few extra heads in there, and even if they don't, I mean, let's be real, we all have a bucket of Marvel Legends heads, so you can use your imagination and do whatever you want. But yeah, you know, I was watching Dan Who earlier because he had a live stream, and somebody in the comments said to throw in like the Ben Reilly head that we didn't get with Scarlet Spider, right?
Yeah, that really rare retro carded spider, right?
Yeah. So that was like, hey, that's actually a really good idea. I like that. So
yeah, any additional heads? I was thinking, yeah, maybe like, well, I mean, Peter Parker obviously would be good, but like the original Chameleon, they did what, Hammerhead and J. Jonah Jameson. Yeah. So literally anybody you could pull in from there. I mean,
yeah,
you gave, like, I know, I mean, who's to say it has to be a man? You could do Gwen Stacy or MJ, and I know there's like that retro card that has both of their heads. Like, just you could re-release those, and you know, if you have a female body, you could do a custom MJ instead of having to pay for that ridiculous one, the retro card one.
Yeah, or even like give us, say, like an alternate Spider-Man head, one that matches, like, it could be any buck, but let's say the Renew Your Vows buck, right? But just like something that could also work as an alternate head for that figure, you know? Mm-hmm. It's kind of a cool way that they could just give us alternate heads. If you want to use it on Chameleon, great. If you want to use it on one of the other figures you already have, even better. You know, just say some of those figures where we just got a stoic face and we want the angry head. Just throw like a few angry heads in there for some random characters that we don't have angry heads for, or vice versa. But
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of possibility. It's all, hoop dreams and wishful thinking, but there's a lot of possibility. So
Yeah, I'd like to see like an unmasking head too. Like maybe him
yeah,
like pulling the mask off, like that picture with the smoking jacket with the
yeah,
right
yeah, yeah, yeah.
hole.
Exactly, exactly. Electro, but the lady version of Electro.
Electra?
Oh,
No,
so
there already is that.
that's exactly where my mind went. I was like, no, that's not right. We already have an Electro. Yeah, so why not, right? You got all kinds of villains in there. So
You give
again,
me
one I
some,
don't know that there's a large audience for, but still could be cool. Another villain for the shelf. So
yeah, definitely with some hopefully new electrical effects.
some and to me that would be the selling point. If they could somehow recreate this here with that kind of electric effect to go, yeah, come on. I'm taking that all day and twice on Sunday, right? So
Exactly. Well, actually, before you go on, Kenny Hunt, I'm going to show you.
oh.
This is what they need to do. The typical electro hand. This is not. This is from the Hasbro Plasma Series Gozer.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Way bigger. You just need to,
Perfect.
like, you honestly could sub that in. The hand's kind of the small, but that's what they need to do for this figure like this. Like, honestly, it fit perfectly with that hand right
Yeah.
there. But
Perfect
because the
example.
normal electro one's probably about half that size, I think.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's really what
yeah,
they should do.
Yeah, man. That honestly, that would be if they could just recreate that for the Legends line.
Right? I mean,
Like
they
I
already
don't
got the
know.
mold Hasbro, right? There it
Yeah,
is.
exactly. Like I don't know what the rules are for Hasbro and sharing stuff amongst lines, but I feel like it's not can't be that complicated, right? Like
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that you can't trademark the Ghostbusters. This isn't like Ghostbusters Lightning trademark TM.
if you go to the patent office
You
right
can't
now,
trademark Lightning.
you're gonna find that deep into the books. All right, we've got Agent Venom though. This one needs an update, right? He's got the weird ball hips. Give him lots of guns,
Really
lots
hard
of
to find too.
accessories. Hard to find. But then it also means that we're going to need an updated Agent Anti-Venom shortly thereafter.
But won't be a Walgreens exclusive this time, hopefully.
Thankfully. Well, no, that's dead, so we'll be all right. It'll probably be a Walmart exclusive, which isn't much better, but it's at least available to order online most of the time.
Right.
So yeah, so this is good as long as it comes with a lot of weapons and accessories and just looks badass.
Some tendrils, maybe.
Yeah, don't forget the tendrils.
And speaking of, there you go.
Speaking of anti-venom, there you go. So, yeah, so I like the other anti-venom. It is kind of a weird body, I guess. So
It's
maybe
basic.
if they can make
very
this
basic.
more like the select version, right? Because that one's like super gnarly, very creepy, towering kind of figure.
Mm-hmm.
A lot that you could do with it. So if the updated version looks like that, I'm super stoked for it. I'm all in. And will it? I don't know.
Some kind of deluxe like toxin or riot size where I guess it's a cool because it's a big figure, the Hobgoblin previous one, but it's just kind of awkward. So you can only really like pose him, it doesn't really feel like a.
It's like the
like
torso or something is off.
Yeah.
It just.
So that's where you need him, and you need to get like the big, pointy, clawed fingers. So I was thinking like not necessarily the size of the MCU Carnage that they put out recently. Because that thing's huge.
Right.
Like something around that, maybe like a bigger
maybe
size like that.
Maybe like the movie.
He's not thick and bulky like Venom. He's thinner, right? Because it's like Flash
that's
Thompson.
true. I was gonna say maybe like the Sony Venom, but that's kind of bulky, right? I think it could work, but maybe something.
I just want him to be like slender and creepy and like I don't
Yeah.
know, almost like a scarecrow or like the Jabberwocky from Alice in Wonderland with all those like creepy long limbs, you know?
Yes, yes. Then
Yes.
you're probably into this, right? You know, got
Oh hell yes.
some more PlayStation Spider-Man characters coming in.
Gamerverse. Yeah, give me Ghost Spider. That would be
Dude,
awesome.
yeah, so Ghost Spider, when I saw that, I was like, "Oh hell yeah!" Let's like it's such a crazy looking costume to begin with, but yeah, if we get this, I don't. That's definitely a day one pre-order for sure.
Yes.
Black
For
Cat,
sure.
I mean, cool. I don't like. I like the Black Cat I have. I'm not like building out a gamerverse setup, so I'm not sure where I'd be with that. But like Ghost Spider for sure.
Yes.
The
Same thing. I agree. Black Cat. I'm like, okay. Yeah. The I'm not sure what. I think it's just the retro card one. Yeah, that's like the go-to. It looks
yeah,
good.
yeah, that's yeah, exactly.
If this one came with like maybe like a safe or something, or I know in spoilers for Spider-Man 2, the game, if you haven't played it, I don't know what you're waiting for. She has like the Wanda Watum in the
Yeah,
second game, right, with Miles, so you could give her that
yeah, and
potentially.
we've got that. They could definitely throw that in.
Yeah, and maybe like I don't know, there's some kind of book. I don't know if it's not like a specific one that Miles runs into, but it's like a thing like that. Yeah, just throwing a couple of like magical accessories or I don't know something she stole, like I don't know, like a diamond or
You need
I don't know,
a
like a painting or
telescope, right?
something. Yeah,
Because she leaves it on all the building, you know. So yeah,
yeah. There you go.
some cool accessories for
Make it
sure.
a little bit more, and they seem to do that with the Gamerverse figures, at least with the Spider-Man ones, because you really don't get a ton. They really need to tap into the villains from the
Yeah,
Gamerverse, in my
yeah.
opinion.
There's so much that they
And
could.
they're really well done. It's like a really good mix of like their own spin on it, but like the classic look. Vulture and Electro come to mind. If you played the game, you know what I'm talking about. It's just very well done, and that's a line where I'm like, I feel like those would sell too. Um,
Yeah, even like Tombstone would be cool because it's just a different aesthetic and
yep, he's
kind of
like a
the
biker. Yeah,
biker gang.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It works really well. Yeah, I agree.
the other
Let's
one
see.
was yeah. So
Sorry,
it
go ahead.
was just coded as 099, but I'm not like using my brain to really connect the dots here to say, I don't know, is that code 099 just code for 2099? Are we far off? It may be. It's just to throw
That
us off the
wouldn't
scent,
be
but
too far off.
yeah. So perhaps, but in the leaks there are going to be 3 of the figures from the game. So the 2 that were on the list were Black Cat and Ghost Spider, but the other one was just coded as 099. So,
It could be anybody, and if Ghost Spider is one of the options, that really the 99 could be anybody because I think there's also multiple versions of the 2099 suits too, so
yeah,
it
yeah, you
wouldn't
got like
have to
the
be
white
that
version.
specific version, even though that version is like the best. I know the retro carded one is kind of hard to find, so just a straight re-release of that probably wouldn't be,
I,
out of the question.
I think too, like people, even if you're not collecting it for the game, if they do 2099 on a bigger buck, then people will buy it, right? They'll put it in their comic displays because a lot of complaints for the retro card and the release prior to that, because they're on the same like Pizza Spider buck, is it's too thin for 2099. So
Yeah, it should be a little beefier.
yeah. And then there was Miles Morales. So I think was this Ultimate Miles. Um,
So yeah.
yeah, Ultimate Miles. It, as long as it looks good, I'm here for it because the only Miles I have is the Sony, PlayStation version, for the PS5 version, right? So I like that figure. It looks really great. You can put it in your comic display, but if we could get an updated comic version of Miles, then yeah, I'm all for it. Especially if they can give us a new sort of like teenage buck, right? Sort of that
Mm.
smaller male build, then that opens possibilities for some other stuff too. And if it's something that they can reuse, then there's no doubt that they will do it. Is it something that needs to be on a new buck? No, I think you could probably just put it on, one we already have. But again, as long as Miles looks good, I'm here for it.
It looks like he's getting pooped on in this picture by all these pigeons.
There are a lot of birds, and there's a lot going on, especially with that top bird. Yeah, I don't know what's happening.
Man, I shouldn't have wore the black suit today.
Let's see. Ultimate Spider-Man, was that one?
I think so.
This one was the one that was teased at Comic-Con. So this and Spider-Boy were the Spider-Man Unlimited. These were the two that were teased. Again, this is a little bit newer, so not something I'm super familiar with. But if I think no matter what, as long as the Spider-Man figure looks cool, it'll sell, right? People like Spider-Man, and if you're not familiar, maybe you just think it's a cool looking figure, and then that piques your interest, and then you go explore it, right? So it works both ways, whether you know the thing beforehand or you learn about it after the fact, right? So it's kind of the give and take for the collecting of these, which is a fun part of the hobby. So
exactly, yeah. I might as well just buy a figure because it looks cool. I have no knowledge of the character.
Speaking, you talked about battle damage earlier, so battle damage Spider-Man is on the list. So if we get this, maybe that opens the potential for that battle damage Deadpool.
Hey, bring it on! It's like, give me that blood effect for the hand.
Yeah, right. I mean,
it's like, what's your blood made of? Clay, Spider-Man? What's going on there?
I'm super curious to see to what level they take it, right? So. It could be really something that looks really cool or just something that looks like a half-ass effort. But hey, they usually do right by Spider-Man, though. So I feel like this should be good.
Yeah, and if you did do like the really bloody stuff, just like hide it in the packaging on like the little side part. So you can't see it.
make it fan channel, and then you can be a little bit more risky, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Switching over to the movies. Yeah, so we're getting Black Suit Toby.
Is that just going to be like a repainted?
Just absolutely. You know it's just good. Yep. People have already been doing it, right? Like people who are good at customizing and figuring that stuff out, like dyeing the suit black or painting it black.
Yeah, I've seen a few customs. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll kind of be like that, and I think it'll look. It'll look good. It'll do right by Toby in the black suit.
Do you think it'll come with the dancing emo head?
If it doesn't, then we revolt. All right, collectively as a community. That's right. I need dancing emo Toby or nothing else.
Right.
The other, I guess my segue should have been from PS5 Spider-Man to Marvel versus Capcom.
Hey, there you go.
Either way, the rumors about the potential for a Marvel versus Capcom wave, pretty outstanding. And personally, I think probably a little bit too far into the wishful thinking. As much as I love the idea of this, I see no way that all of this comes to fruition, right? This is like far too good to be true, right?
It's a wave they start and never finish. How about that?
It has to be, right? But if not, if this is legit, then this is really cool. And
this is how you reinvigorate the line by bringing in like a whole nother audience, that
exactly. You're now including like the gamer audience to this. Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. And that just makes sense. Not to mention, I mean, probably no, I was gonna say probably the only way we get Shuma Gorath. But I doubt, if that does well, then we'll get a repaint a few years later down the line. But still, cool that's even on the table.
The one I want the most.
Yeah, exactly. Out of this, that for me that would be the number one. Obviously the Wolverine, but I I mean, that blue tone on the Venom would be
Yeah, I like
super
that. And
nice.
yeah, acid.
Juggernaut, I don't know what they would do. Like, are they going to give us a new buck for a Juggernaut? Could be, but I kind of doubt it.
Just re-release the Diamond Select one. That's it right there.
We just bought the mold for the Diamond Select one, and now it's a Marvel Legend.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably kill someone with that Diamond Select
Yeah,
one.
it's essentially a brick. It's the same color as a brick, and it feels like a brick when it hits you.
Yeah,
But yeah, so super cool idea, and I'm very hopeful that it's legit. But
yeah.
this one certainly seems a little on the too good to be true side, but only time will tell. ROM, the Space Knight, they already confirmed at Comic-Con, right? But still cool. This goes in that lane of like random, interesting characters that just look like cool action figures, right?
Mhm.
So I have no like nostalgia or emotional ties to ROM, but I'm certainly gonna buy it because it's gonna look cool as an action figure.
It's
Right?
gonna look very cool. Yeah.
But for figures that I certainly want to get, classic Adam Warlock, right?
We do need one.
Right. The one we have, nice figure. Personally, what I want is this more like a more classic version, so then I can use the Magus head on the other one. Because right now I have it on like a Magneto body. This is a weird situation, but yeah, something nice, classic Adam Warlock, long overdue. We have an older one, certainly needs the update. This one I feel like is a for sure.
Yeah, definitely. This image you picked is perfect. That's the one I want. Give me, maybe the Infinity Gauntlet also with them with some new effects, or old effects, whatever. The old one came with those two, bubble effects. So why not?
Yeah. Do it.
Yeah.
Then they threw in an Iron Man wave, right? So again, Dread Knight did not make the cut again this year, but maybe
Never
2026. I don't know. I just want an updated Dread Knight. That's all. But Mandarin did make the cut, and I think that will make a lot of people happy, right?
Yes.
We have a million Iron Man figures, but not the number one villain for Iron Man. So certainly long overdue. So that I think is a shoe-in, something that will certainly sell and make a lot of fans happy.
Yes, I would like a few like alternate hand. If we're gonna, Hasbro's loving their hands right now. So if you're gonna give me some hands, give me some, one with like the electric, because each of the rings does something different, right? You don't got to do all 10. That's asking too much unless it's a deluxe. But ones that you can at least represent, because I think one of them he can just like disintegrate something into nothing. Like, how do you show that? Yeah, give me that. Give me a couple options there, and yeah, please make sure it's the green and yellow robe. That's the classic look.
Yeah,
and I know it might be a little bit. What is it like?
Questionable,
really insensitive. Yeah, like just give me like nothing too crazy. Just whatever. But I do like the look, and I've always liked him as an Iron Man villain.
I think the alternate route that they could go, it would still piss some people off, but it would at least satiate some of the fan base, is to do like the green, where his skin is green, right? Like, and it's likely going to be on the Iron Man retro card if it's in an Iron Man wave.
Yeah, it's got
so that I guess is another possibility. It's certainly not the one that we all want, but at this point, the one we'll live with. So,
yeah.
And then the other one, so the Crossbones Constrictor 2-pack, but I feel like that was on the leak list last year, right?
Yeah, and never, yeah. So
and still hasn't come to life, and now it's on the list again. So maybe it got pushed back. So I would say that this is definitely happening if it's been on back-to-back leak lists year to year. 2-pack with Crossbones and Constrictor, though. So, I mean, interesting. Do we need
Yeah.
a new Crossbones? I like the one we have, but the body is a little weird. So maybe if they, make them a little bit bulkier, a little bit cooler, definitely more guns.
Yeah. I like this. Like this picture you have is different than the one that we got, right? I think at least a little bit. He's got a little bit of a smirk.
I tried to find the pictures of the ones that I'm wishing that we get.
Yeah, like I think like
none
if
of these
you
will happen.
if you made it different enough, it would be cool. And I agree. Give him some different guns, maybe some of the what is it, like the gunshot effects or like the wisp of the smoke from the gun.
Yeah, and then yeah.
Cool.
And
I like Constrictor. I'm a big fan of Serpent Society, obviously.
And that one,
the old Toybus one isn't that bad though. I still really don't have any complaints. It's a little thin, but
it's not Toybus,
right. The old Marvel Legends, yeah. It's not bad.
It's old Hasbro, but like it still fits, right? It still looks okay in the display, but it could look better.
It could.
Although I will caveat with this. If this is the only Serpent Society related figure that we're going to get, then I prefer it not. I'd prefer another member that we don't have first, but I guess at the end of the day, it would be nice to see this updated a little bit. But again, I'd rather see characters we don't have first.
Yeah, give me like Bushmaster, Sidewinder. I need Bushmaster to go along with Bushwhacker. Come on, I need all the bush.
I need all the bush.
The Bush Chapel. Do you remember that, Kenny?
Speaking of Bush, no, that was a terrible segue. But yeah, so U.S. agent, right?
Bush. You could be like the President Bush. No,
it could US. Be. It was John Walker, Bush, Shields.
He likes Bush. No, yeah.
Fire. I don't know. Anyway, this is a cool looking shield and costume. So since we just got a U.S. agent last year, right? Controller wave, right? Yeah. It seems a little soon, but there are options. There are costume options. This shield, I think, is different. I like it. Could look cool. Kind of like the button up way the costume is here. It's a little bit different, so I don't know. Hopefully it's not just a straight up re-release of the one we got not that long ago.
Is it? I know it doesn't say it in the like leak list. Do you think it has anything to do with Brave New World? The MC, it could be like some version of that. I know we got like the Falcon and Winter Soldier was, I think Wyatt Russell was U.S. agent or whatever, but I don't know, just a thought that it could tie into that, because it does, like you say, it seems random considering we just got one. Like, do we really need another one? You said there's options.
Thunderbolts, that comes out next year too, so they're gonna probably tie in some comic stuff to go with that as well. So yeah, I mean, stuff. The only thing that was also part of the Iron Man wave, right? So the only thing I thought was weird in the Iron Man wave was a Punisher figure. That's the reason I put this 2-pack, because I was like, yeah, I mean, what are the potential options there? Like, are they planning on giving us a new version of the Punisher War Machine? I hope not, because that's already that's a fine figure. I don't.
You really don't need
another one of those. We can always use more classic Punishers. So, what's the idea there? That's kind of what I'm wondering.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it would be like you say, like just a retro carded one, because this one looks similar to the retro carded one they put out. When they first started doing the retro cards with the red bandana, I think.
Yeah.
Something similar to that. Maybe just
kind of like the Walgreens a little bit with the.
Yeah.
Like harnesses.
I don't know if that'll maybe we haven't really got like a Punisher with like that. I don't know if you call that cell shading, but it's kind of bluish. Like we haven't really got that right. Like that could look cool in like a more blue outfit.
I figured that would eventually come with like the VHS line at some point.
He has like a weird animated series. Trench coat in that, doesn't? No, wait, no, that's
he does.
He does have a trench coat, doesn't he? Yeah. I don't know, just a thought, because I know we need like a classic retro, classic Punisher look, and we're getting it in the 2-pack, so maybe they're just like, oh, we got more, we're gonna make some blue ones.
Yeah, maybe like a slightly bigger build or something, but honestly, here's what I think is gonna happen, because so we're getting the Punisher with the Bushwhacker 2-pack. That's the War Journal version of Punisher, so a lot of people who didn't have Punisher or are newer to collecting Legends, don't have a Punisher and don't want to pay like the $70 for the Walgreens one or whatever, that we probably just get like a repainted version of the War Journal in a more, with the white boots, basically.
Mm-hmm.
White gloves, white boots to give it that classic look. And then, because there will be Iron Man figures in this wave, I'm calling it now. This is the bold prediction. It's this 2-pack, just a re-release 6-inch version of this pack right here. It's super weird, super random. It's going to piss a lot of people off because they don't want the Iron Man. And then there's like 4 people who are pissed off because the Punisher's in there, right? So that's it. That's what's happening.
Yeah, please, anybody.
Exactly. What I am, speaking of the Punisher, though, what I am excited about is
yes, that's the best Punisher.
Yeah, so we'll get some Daredevil Punisher figures, MCU versions. Hopefully, not just re-releases of the ones we previously received. Like to see some updates there, but yeah, it'll be cool. I would like this aesthetic because the Netflix Punisher is sort of in a longer coat. And the Daredevil is in like a more subdued costume, right? So,
hey, give me that in a 2-pack.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a 2-pack that I think everybody would be in, because it makes sense. It's good. It's cohesive.
Yeah, and I know that Netflix Daredevil is actually, both of them are pretty pricey, but I know that Netflix Daredevil, it used to be a lot. I haven't looked in a while, but like I don't know if it's still as expensive.
It kind of dropped a little bit.
Okay, good.
But I mean, it's probably still like $40. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's funny. If they do give us another Burn with the Punisher, can I get like a bloody screaming Bernthal? Like you're just awesome. like he's just in like kill mode.
The end of the last Netflix episode, right, where you're just like,
yeah. Yeah, beautiful.
Just do it. And then, of course, there are several Iron Mans that will be released as well. I didn't go and find pictures because I don't have any certain desires for.
We know what Iron Man looks like.
Yeah.
Let me say, unless he's green or
pick your poison.
Random color I haven't seen, don't tell me about
it. Yeah. So that's dealer's choice. You choose your own adventure for what Iron Man figure you'd like to see next year. But
so it's glow in the dark green one. That's what I want.
Okay, so that I'd be absolutely on board for. But barring a glow in the dark green Iron Man, the only Iron Man I'm getting is the one that's in that 2-pack with Punisher that I've predicted will happen. So,
and then I'm gonna sell
it. But yeah, so I mean, it's a cool list, a lot of cool stuff. Hopefully, most of it is legit. I don't know. I mean, yeah. Dave, he put out the list last year, and that was accurate, right? We've, I think, hit almost everything on that list last year. So whatever source that displaying model behavior that Dave is getting, he's got a good one. So,
Kenny, I have a question with that Daredevil Punisher. At least the note says Daredevil Born Again. Is that something from the show, or is that? I thought that was a comic line. No, or
that's the Disney Plus show. That's the name.
That's the okay. You see, I'm so behind on that. I never finished the Daredevil show. Just it got on my nerves after a while because it took so long to come back on. Yeah. Okay. So
Just
Isn't
kinda
there a
moved on.
comic though called Born Again that like features
Yeah,
Daredevil? Like,
that's
it's based on that.
where they
Okay.
took the name from. Who I don't whether or not it's based on that run, I don't know, but the
Born
name
Again,
sounds
kind
good.
of.
Born Again, kind of. I like that. That's what they should go with. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Mr. Den of Toys, Glenn Brown is in the house. Yeah, I agree though. The MCU figures are they're gonna look good, especially like the way things are going, the face scan technology that they have. Like the face prints are just looking great, and they're gonna continue to get better. And the MCU figures, yeah, they're gonna be good and good for like people because this year was pretty devoid of MCU stuff. Outside of like legacy figures and Outriders, now up for pre-order. Yeah, not a whole lot of MCU stuff. So
One for each Outrider.
there you go. All right. Clearly, Nick is a huge fan of Outrider. We talked about that, but yeah, the list is good though, so I'm looking forward to it, man. I don't know. What do you think? You content with it?
I'm looking very forward to it a lot.
Anything that like stands out as like why are we not getting that? I know we had like our top 5 lists a few weeks ago about like what we'd want to see, and I don't think any of those made it on here. Let's see. I have my list right here. Let me consult.
I do not have mine.
Yeah, absolutely 0 of the 10 combined figures made it into this leak list. So
okay,
we got to do better.
I guess I'm really happy that they're finally doing the Screaming Banshee. Like, that was one of those ones that was like, why haven't they done? And now they're finally doing it. I know it's a little late. It's like we've already all bought the first Banshee, or you bought the what the pack? No, so sorry. Siren was the Bone Breaker wave, and then you got the 3-pack. So most people already got it, but I mean, you should easily be able to put the Screaming head onto the 3-pack one, no problem, and then no issue, right? Theoretically,
we do have 2 heads with a 3-pack one. It's just that Siren that they jacked us up on.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Sorry, I guess I'm thinking of Siren.
That's why I was wishfully thinking that they just throw in a Screaming Siren head with the new Banshee.
They should, yeah.
But will they? No.
No. Even though the packaging shows her screaming.
Although I do kind of miss when we would get random figureheads in a pack, like with Mystique we got the Lalandra head. With Speed Demon we got the Silvermane head, so
and the little car. I want more little cars.
Whatever happened to those little cars? We need more little cars.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm all for that. Like these extra random heads, especially if it's like a character that's just a suit body, because there's tons of suit bodies you can just find. A Jimmy Woo or a Everett Ross or whatever, and then you pop that head on there, and I can't think of any off the top of my head because they've already done like a Norman Osborn, any new Peter Parker that they do or Spider-Man they do should come with just a Norman Osborn head, so you can put his head onto a suit body, and then you've got Norman Osborn. Who else could work? How about like a non-transformed lizard, a Kurt Connors,
right. So we got the Bruce Banner, right, with the Hulk 2-pack. So essentially, they could just reuse that and just change the head.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, but give us some interchangeable arms so we get like that in between.
Ooh, okay.
Don't just give us
how about
straight up Bruce Banner re-release?
One that's like half transformed.
Exactly.
I like that. Yeah, see, there's so much potential there, but I don't think that they'll go that route just because it involves too much like tooling and molding
new parts.
To do stuff, and it seems like they're willing to do that with some, but not others. So I don't know. I do really question who's the final person that's like, yep, that's the one we're making. Who's that guy? Sometimes he gets it right, other times, what's he smoking?
That's a good question. We need to get to the bottom of this. Who's in charge?
Or the top.
or the top. I don't know, somewhere in between. It's like some guy from the shipping department. They just change. It depends on the month, you know. It's like
Yeah.
it's just
Like
Todd
an
from
employee raffle.
accounting.
What figure do you want to see?
There's Dave from the mailroom, Todd from accounting. You know. Next month it could be you.
It could be you.
Could be you.
Work for Hasbro.
Well, I think that about does it for the conversation. I appreciate everybody for coming, listening to us ramble on about this leak list that you've already watched probably 5 other videos on and have more reliable sources, but you're here, and that's what matters.
Exactly.
With that, I'll turn it over to our good friends, Bill and Ted.
Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes!